Hi, everybody. Welcome to Focus on Liberia. This is the sex and relationship conversation with me, Lady J. And today is the 12th of January 2022. So, today we're going to be talking about a very important topic that I feel we should talk about first and foremost. Before I continue, I want to shout out to everyone that's on. Thanks to Focus on Liberia for giving me the opportunity to be back on their show. I appreciate the opportunity given. Um, I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about the different types of relationships, and there's a lot. When I thought about discussing this subject, and I looked it up, first and foremost, when I thought about it, I thought it was just three different types of relationships or three different, kinds of relationship, and I thought single, um, married, or single in a relationship. Single, that's not a relationship. So being in a relationship, married or dating or whatever, that was the first one. Second one, divorce, and third one, somewhere in between married and divorce. So that's what I was thinking. But come to find out, when I did my research, there is a lot of different kinds of relationships. So for the first 30 minutes, I'm going to be telling you guys what I learned, and we're going to be learning together. Feel free to pop up your questions here for me so that I can answer those questions for you. And I also ask that you please share the video. This is very important because it helps a whole lot when can we understand these things. And so one of the reasons why there is different types of relationships and there's definition to these different types of relationships is because we want to make sure that we avoid conflict. And when you enter into anything, anything, once a man and a woman or a group of people enter into anything that falls in the confines of a relationship, you have to have rules and definition of what it is that you are in to avoid conflict. So I'm just want to try to maneuver myself back into what I just said. In order for a relationship to be peaceful and enjoyable, one has to define the confines of that relationship. There needs to be rules. What are the rules in our relationship? What kind of relationship are we in? And what are the expectations of this relationship? So once these things are in there, then you don't have an issue anymore when it comes to what it is, because the expectations have been laid on the table for you. You can't go and come back and say, oh, this is not how it should be, because there are rules and regulations that have been laid down or that are already set to go. So with that being said, I want to go right into the different kinds of relationships. We're going to just do about 5 or 6 of them today, and then we will move on. So this is part 1 of the types of relationships, and until I'm done with it, because it's a whole long list, and I definitely want to go into each and every one of them because I feel it's important that we do. So polyamory is the first relationship that came up when I did my research. And a lot of people are in this kind of relationship, but they just don't know that they're in this kind of relationship. So I'm going to go over what polyamory says, okay? It says this type of relationship involves romantic love with more than one person. So here we have a romantic love going on with more than one person. So that means a woman might be in a relationship with 2 men that she loves, or she claims she loves. A man might be in a relationship with 2 women that he claims he claims he loves or he loves. So it could be a woman in a relationship with, I guess her husband and another man, or it could be a woman having two boyfriends that she loves, or a man having two girlfriends. So in this relationship, partners are specifically open to dating other people. They agree that we are in love with more than one person, so we're going to have a relationship as such. And a lot of us didn't know that this kind of relationship exists. I didn't know, to be honest. But I knew, but I didn't know the name. I didn't know the specifics of it, but I knew because I know the term. I mean, like, people are in relationships and, they're in love with two or more people and they're in a relationship with them, but I just didn't know what the name was and what the definition of everything was. So these two parties communicate in this relationship to communicate, and they tell each other that I am going to be in love with you and be in love with another person, and it's open and it's agreed upon. So that's our first relationship, polyamory. The second relationship or type of relationship is dating. So when it comes to dating, we have friends that decide to see each other, people that decide to see each other, and they enjoy being together, so they have fun and they go on dates, and they talk about their feelings, about things that they like, and they attach to each other. That's kind of like dating. This is not like very strong in regards to cementing anything. And most of the time when people are dating, they can talk to other people because they are not, you know, like they haven't decided what they want to do. That's dating. This is the place where you feel the need to watch this person, observe them to the point where you decide, do I want to be with them or not? If you want to be with them, then you move into another thing. But dating is just on the outskirts of the relationship where people just study each other. It's very important to find out what stages that you are in when it comes to relationship, because again, it takes away conflict. If you just jump into something sexual with someone and you guys have not really come to and a conversation or an agreement of what it is that you are in, someone could be having expectations that, oh, I'm married to this person, without going through the process of being married, but I'm the only person that he's seen, or I'm the only person that she's seen, when that's not the case. So you really have to discuss what it is that you are in. So that's dating. Then we have cohabitation. Cohabitation is when two people decide to live together, to move in together, and they are in a relationship. So they're not man and wife, but they've decided to move in together, and there can be many reasons why people decide to move in together. Sometimes it can be they don't want to be apart from each other. They want to try out how it is, how they feel when they're in that cohabitation period, to be able to proceed onto marriage. Sometimes they do it for economic reasons. Oh, it's good that we come together, live together, because it's better to have one household than have two. So with cohabitation, this is when partners make a decision to cohabitate, and most of the time, that saying we have in Liberia where they say, you can come and spend time, and it's sweet, but when it's spending time, starts to move on to next level, the person not going home and stuff like that, then that's reality right there. So spending time, you can come spend time, and have fun and go to your own space, the person go to their space. But when it comes to that place where that spending time part is over and you are both living together, it it can sometimes open the eyes of people to see if they want to get married or not. Because cohabitation, you guys have to share bills together. You'll have to sometimes go to the same church together. You have to go to the same events and stuff like that. I mean, you're there, and that person is there, and you're living together, and you're making life decisions together as lovers. So that's that. That's cohabitation. And sometimes, as I said, it can lead straight to marriage if it works out really well. Some people don't like to do the cohabitation because, especially Christian women and men, because they feel that if they're supposed to be with someone, they can be with that person straight into marriage versus going from dating to cohabitation, then before marriage and stuff like that. They just feel that if we're supposed to be together, then we can just move on from the dating or engagement straight into a marriage. So that's cohabitation for you. The next one on the list is monogamy. Monogamy can be described as a type of relationship in which two people involved agree to have only one romantic partner. So in monogamy, we sit down, we have this conversation, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife and husband. This is it. You're not allowed to see nobody else. I'm not allowed to see nobody else. We are in this, and we are in it just us. You can't cheat. I can't cheat. This is not an open relationship and things like that. I like this one because I feel it's more intimate and more honest. I don't know if I could do the other ones because it's just, I don't know, but everybody has their own. But if I had to choose, I'll choose this one, a monogamous relationship, because here we're talking about a structured relationship. We're talking about where we have these rules and regulations attached to our relationship, where we know you identify where you want to be, how you want to be in a relationship, and who you're with. And with that, you grow as a couple because there is no interference, no kinky stuff here and there, and all those kind of things. So I like the monogamy. If I have to, with me choosing what kind of relationship I want to be in, monogamy will be mine, right in my ballpark. And that's what I would choose. Then we're moving on to the next one, number 5, which is casual relationship. And with casual dating, we're talking about this is where 2 or more people may be dating and spending time together, engaging in romantic or sexual activities. And so casual relationship here describes where nothing has been defined yet. So no commitment, nothing. I think that they want to call it friends with benefits, but Jeka, not even friends with benefits. Let's just take the casual relationship. So casual relationship, no commitment, nothing. You living in Minnesota and it's cold. You call it a casual relationship. You're kind of yearly team and you'll go your way. Casual relationship, no commitment. Anytime a person can walk, anytime you can walk and stuff like that. Casual dating, you're just casually can just be there, be feeling bored, be like, hey, do you want to go out to eat? Oh yeah, come pick me up and stuff like that. That's very casual. It's very important. I see that a lot of times people fall into relationship problems because they don't define where they want to be. And you have that option to do so. You have that option to decide exactly how you want your relationship to be. But I don't understand, sometimes people just want to meet and have sex, and then if it doesn't work out, they just walk away. And these things are not good for people emotional health, for people mental health, when they fall in that category, especially when it comes to women, because for women internalize a lot of things and things like that. So when you sleep with her and there is no discussion, it's not the man's fault, it's not the woman's fault, it's both parties' fault, because before you move into that sleeping situation, you need to define exactly what you're going into. You do need to define what you're going into. You can't just come up and say, let's just do this thing and stuff like that, because you don't know what's going to happen after the relationship is what's going to happen after sex. Sex is a very deep and intimate thing. So it's casual, yeah, no commitment, yeah, we agree to all of that, but you just don't know. Somebody can just have sex with you today and just fall deeply in love with you and get attached to you, and if you don't explain these things, next morning you leave, you calling, they leave, you calling, they're calling, and you're like not on that level with them. Like, I just hit it. I just want to hit it and run. I don't want to be with you. The sex was sloppy. I didn't come, and all those things. You really, really, really need to at least have a sit down with somebody and decide what kind of relationship you want to be in before you do this, because these things can be hurtful. It becomes like rejection when people walk away and they don't tell you nothing, they just walk away and all those things. So to prevent yourself from getting into any hurt and stuff like that, have these conversations. They might be difficult to have, but you have to get out of your comfort zone and have these conversations. You have to, especially the ladies, because when we attach to feelings. Men, they these things. Men will see a woman and he get attracted to her, baby, because she got boobs and he's a boob guy. She got butt, he's a butt guy, and stuff like that. Or he's seeing her stomach and her stomach is cool and smooth and stuff like that, and he's a stomach guy and stuff like that. And he's like, ooh, she's very sexy. But women, when they attach, it's not about how the guy looks or how he smells. They attach based on how this man has made them feel at that moment. So you have to make sure you define where you're in, where you're getting into. And I think the last but not the least, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is friendship. So friendship can be acquaintances, sexual relationship, work or professional relationship, teacher-student relationship, community group relationship. So friendship is an unconditional interpersonal relationship where individuals enter into by their own will or choice. So that's what we have for today. I don't want to really go into more, because at the end of the day, I want to kind of like just like go step by step. And I see a lot of people on here. I want to shout out to you guys. Let us know where you're watching from, and if you have any questions, this will be the time. Oh, I see a lot of people. Let me jump out. Let me read some of these comments here. Oh, Jonathan James wants to know if I'm even married or in a relationship. That's a personal one, but I think I can answer you, Jonathan James. I am in a relationship, yes, and I have been married before. I know the question is posed towards, am I equipped to come up here and discuss sex and relationship? That's your mindset, right? That's funny. Do you guys know that there are people who teach, like a guy that teaches as a pilots at a school that have not ever flown a plane? Do you know that? So does he have to be a pilot to fly a plane? Let's think about that. I think we should get out of that mindset of, is this person, qualified to discuss this? I am overqualified to discuss this based on my study. I study psychology, just so you know. I'm a student of psychology, and I have my own life experiences as well that makes me overqualified to be able to discuss these topics as I am doing as an expert. So yes, to answer your question, Jonathan James. Cohabitation is common in Liberia. That's meat males. That's true. Vicky said, "Are cara tope ale bawi." Oh yeah. Jerome Ramos, you wanna know if somebody's sleeping yet? You guys are so funny. Thank you, Benedict Besman. And greetings, Christopher Kamara from Australia. Um, no problem, Jonathan James. I have to answer your question. And experience do make you a teacher. That's from Christopher
Lady
Kamara.
J,
Yes, darling.
we'll put a comment on the screen and then just read them from the screen.
All right. So, Trokan, how are you? Trokan, welcome back. Hi, Trokan, how are you, darling? So, let's do this. If you have questions, I would love to answer your questions at this time. We have, and you can call in as well. I would love to definitely have a conversation with you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in confines to these topics that we are discussing here. It can be anything that you might have questions with. I'm happy I'm back on Focus on Liberia, FOL. I was here before COVID hit, and I thought it was good to take a break because when COVID had come, people were really anxious about, the whole thing, how to go about dealing with the isolations and stuff like that. So I had to take a break, and I'm really grateful that FOL brought me back on. Took some little maneuvering here and there, but I'm really happy to be back on here discussing this. So, anybody who wants to call in, what's the number to call in? Can we put the number to call in on the screen, please? So if you want to call in to join the conversation, call 605-313-6004, and the code is 791-403 hashtag. Emmanuel Jackson, what are you laughing about? Tell us. Call me and let me know what you're laughing about. Yes, so if you want to call and join the conversation, give me a call. Let's talk, okay? Let's talk about, you can ask me about sex if you want. I just thought, coming in, it would be nice if I started with, the types of relationships before I go into, the sex part of it and stuff like that. I know everybody, it's exciting. It's just exciting. Let's see what Jerome is asking about. Jerome Gayman has a question here. Let's see what he's asking about. He said, no, that's not that one. Yes, he said, how does religion or religious affiliation affect these relationship arrangements? So, yes, religion does affect some of these relationship arrangements, especially if you are Christian. And we're talking from the first relationship to friendship. We're talking fornication there if they're not married. And religiously, if you really want to go by the books, it affects all of these things that I just discussed, because as a Christian, as a child of God, you should wait to be married before you have sex. And so if we are, doing casual dating, doing the open relationships and all those things, it's not really, especially a Christian, because I'm a Christian, so I can speak from that point of view. It's not really acceptable in the eyes of God. So that can be very detrimental to a person's walk with Christ if they're doing all of that. Christopher Kamara has a question that came right after Jeremy's question.
Yeah.
How do you call marry without sharing? But when you marry, you're supposed to be sharing, Christopher. Lord, I beg you, yeah. When you marry, you're supposed to be sharing. I just want to know. No, except maybe you did a traditional wedding that you polygamy. If you did a traditional wedding where you decided that you're going to have more than one wife because that's your choice, and these wives agree to marry a man who's doing that, then that's fine. That's okay. But nothing. Um, Nothing behind this whole thing has to do with. Let me see. I don't know what's going on, Anthony. Is it better?
Yeah.
Okay. So no, when you're married, it has to be monogamous where you and your partner are together. But in a marriage that decides that that the man, you see, that's the reason. One of the things that I don't understand when you say polygamy, where the man, one of the men can go outside, the woman can go outside. If I believe that if someone wants to be in a polygamous relationship, then it should be where the man can go outside, the woman can go outside. If a man can marry 5 wives, a woman's ought to be able to marry 5 husbands. That's how I feel. So marry or sharing. No, when you're married, you're not supposed to be in that sharing situation. Also sharing, you're supposed to be inside your marriage. This is your first time appearing on Focus on Liberia. The topic on the discussion is very interesting. I thank you. Are you going to be on here with sex and relationship education most often? Yes, Jonathan, I am going to be on here. This is not my first time appearing on Focus on Liberia. I am everything. I have a platform called Everything Liberia, and Focus on Liberia and Everything Liberia have been sister radio shows or talk shows, and I've had opportunities to come and discuss politics on this platform. And as I said, before COVID hit, I was discussing sex and relationship, but then when COVID came, we thought it wise to stop until people got kind of like comfortable and used to the pandemic. So this is not my first time appearing. Thank you for your compliment. I appreciate it. Christopher, then you got to be more specific though. Do you think that distant relationship is really good? Benedict Bestman. That's a great question. That's a really great question, Benedict. So with a distant relationship, the only thing you both have is the phone. So you have to do pretty much everything on the phone. You'll have to talk on the phone. You'll have to eat on the phone. And you'll have to take it all on the phone. I mean, have sex on the phone. That's all you have. Unless you're ready to buy a ticket to go to where that person's at. So with distant relationship, it's a really sensitive kind of relationship because you are not there with the person when you want to be there with them. You'll have to plan that you have to go. When it's in the confines of the states, it's a little better because you can leave from your state and go to the person's state. Maybe that Iowa relationship, Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota, that one are driving and stuff like that. 5 hours, 6 hours, you go there, you meet up with your team and you'll get on. But we're talking about where you got to take plane. That's a whole different ballgame. California, Minnesota, Las Vegas, Atlanta, all the places there, it can be easy, especially when there is no, the flights are not happening regularly. And if that Africa on, my dear, just put your own hand on your head. Because I mean, it's not bad, but one people can survive long distance relationships. It's very hard. It's a very hard relationship to be in because especially when there is a time difference. You know, when that person is up, you're still sleeping. When you're sleeping, that person is up. When you're trying to get in contact with them and stuff like that, and the phone's now on. When they're trying to get in contact with you, your phone's now on. And next thing that they start to think you with somebody else. It's you have to be strong to be in a long distance relationship. That's all I can say. I mean, I've been a couple, and I don't know. Not my choice of kind of relationship. In a married, Christopher Camara said, in a married, that one person is not willing to share other information with the other. Well, that's not a good thing, Christopher, when you're in a marriage and the person's not ready to share information with you. Some people take time to open up to their partners to share information based on previous things that has happened to them before. And some people are not just open to share. So you got to know the kind of person you're with. That boils down to kind of understanding who you're with. And, you know, if that person is someone who can open up, if that person is someone who, you know, likes to talk about their feelings and all those things. Some people are not like that. So because you might be like that, doesn't necessarily mean your partner might be like that. Now, if you want to gather information, you can ask, but you have to make that person feel comfortable enough that they can trust you. Because some relationships, people express how they feel about certain things, and then come to find out the other partner is using it on them the next time they're having that argument. It's like you say something like, oh, you know, for example, I had a boyfriend, but he was not serious, so I got another boyfriend. You, the woman, explain, thinking that, okay, this man's my best friend. He would probably understand that I was trying to move from one relationship to the other. And once you say that as a woman to a man, I had a boyfriend, but he wasn't serious, so I started dating another guy. The next thing that this man is thinking about is, oh, she's a cheat. She's a big cheat. He's not going to understand how this man made this woman feel, why she did what she did. So he shuts down. And then we look at, before you know, the next time they're making flower, he like, you were with somebody, you probably with somebody and stuff like that. So some people just, you got to know how to talk to them about stuff like that. Yeah. All right. I hope I answered your question. George Sadie, are you discussing relationship from a Christian or Islamic perspective, or are you speaking only to a Christian audience? Well, speaking in general, and this is non-religious, but if you brought a religious question that I might know about based on my studies and research, I might be able to answer. The person that asked the first question about Christian relationship, he had it has something to do with, you know, how do they affect the different kind of relationships that I just mentioned here. And so I had to dive into that. But this is non-religious, and but I will be able to answer questions pertaining to Christian relationships based on the fact that I'm a child of God. I'm a Christian. So that's kind of what but it's non-religious, okay? Hope I was able to answer your question. Do you think that too much sex makes a relationship or marriage life happy? Well, sex is definitely a beautiful thing when it's shared honestly between two people. So yeah, I think sex do make this is the thing that you can't do with nobody else when you're in a monogamous relationship with your partner. This is the thing that the both of you enjoy. This is the thing that makes you happy. You know, this is the thing that joins you both together, joins your souls together, make that deep connection. So, I mean, definitely, yeah, it's good to have sex when you're in a relationship. Before you explain your past relationship with your partner, make sure he or she is mature enough to handle it. Thank God, Facebook user. This Facebook user, I don't know who it is, but it's somebody, you know, that I blocked or they blocked me. So it shows her as Facebook user. Facebook user, you are right. It's true. Before you, and I said this on some of my, you know, my talk shows on my platform. It's true. You have to make sure that that person, this is a really, really great insert. Before you talk about your past relationship, you must be aware and know if that partner is mature or not to receive that information. Because they got some people there, you explain your teenage to them, and they're going to use that stuff on you every single time. And that's going to break the relationship. So you have to be careful what information you release, what information you decide to keep, especially with men. Women can, I mean, men can tell women about the thing that was saying, will listen to y'all, okay, try to understand and stuff like that. But men, it's not easy for men to take certain information from women, especially with her, explaining about her past relationships and what happened to her. I wouldn't, in fact, in the first few um, stages in your relationship, when you're just getting to know this person, I wouldn't, if you're not comfortable with the person, I wouldn't really recommend that you express deep things to this person simply because sometimes they're not ready. And if you say something like, oh, in my past relationship, the man will be me every day. Every day that man will be putting him on me and stuff like that. If that person is not ready to process that information because they don't love you, they will run away from you or they will be you.
Lady J, we have a caller.
Okay, we have a caller.
Caller, go ahead.
How you doing today?
Hi, what's this? I'm doing good.
Long time, man. Stop this show. This is Jerome.
What's your name?
Jerome.
Oh, Jerome. Jerome, thank you. Thank you for calling. What's up?
Yeah. Yeah, I got a question. For me, I understand it, but maybe other people might not understand it. But I'm just gonna ask the question in general. You talk about I understand Christian dating, but I want to ask this question because I know some girls here like so they like let me get a certain package of a man. And if you don't have that package, it brings trouble into the home. Now, Christian getting demand that you will not do nothing with your partner until you guys get married. Now, if you get married and these years I know them 3 years, and the one the thing you expect and it's not there, and they start bringing trouble into the home. Will that be a good thing to do, or can you do something to know who you're gonna marry before you go into that? Because it's long-term relationship, you're gonna be there forever. So, well, if you don't let why you get you, some people go and quit because they are not being satisfied. So, what would you say about this thing?
That's a great question, Jerome. Thank you so much for bringing it up. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. So, I did mention to you guys that I'm divorced. So, in my first relationship, I met this Christian man. I'm going to answer your question in this story I'm going to tell. Okay, I met this Christian man, and I was also, highly in the Lord at the time, and we decided that we were going to wait before marriage. So the whole time that we courted, that we were dating, we didn't have sex. I didn't know anything about it, man. I had operation working. He never knew anything about how my own operation working. Nothing. Mm? We waited until marriage. We go into the marriage and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, to be quite honest with you, it was a big disappointment. And that particular thing led to a divorce after 10 years. So I'm a Christian. But when this thing happened, and I reached out to all the different people that I thought were leaders, Christian leaders in the community, and I reached out to them because I was frustrated and I felt that, I was doing the right thing by, not sleeping around, not fornicating, coming in. This thing just didn't work out for me. It did not. And so for me, I'm not going to go that way anymore. I'm not. It's everybody's individual experiences that they go through. And you're right. Sometimes some women want to see what they're working with before they get into marrying someone. In this situation, I would just say to each is his own when it comes to what you might want to do based on that. That's just what I would say. Because I didn't have the best experience. And I'm not going to sit up here and give textbook answers because I want to look pretty or to sound informed. That's what I went through. And that was not the best thing. Don't you think when you're in a long... So did I answer you, Jerome? Is he still there?
No, he asked a question and left.
Okay. Crewball Weah Johnson says, hey, Crewball, what up? What's up? KJ, how you doing? Don't you think when you are in a long distance relationship, it stimulates cheating? It definitely does. Because if that person's in Liberia, and that's a great question, that person's in Liberia or in another state, and you're in your state, and you can't just get in your car and drive to your boo or just call your boo and say, boo, I want to see you, kind of eat something and stuff like that. Definitely, if you got somebody there that's going to take the place of your boo because the boo is long distance, of course, you're going to have to do that. And it's not the best thing. And that's why I say I wouldn't choose long distance relationship because it's not the best. Vivian Yima Fambula, how are you, darling? I think that what makes counseling very important because you guys will have the chance to talk to one another about everything that might affect you or your partner positively or negatively. You're right, oh. And definitely, I did want to go to counseling in that effect personally when it came to my situation, but I did not have the opportunity because both parties have to want to go to counseling. And if both parties don't want to go to counseling, then it's not going to work. So you're right about that. Counseling does help a lot, but it has to be something that is agreed upon by both parties. So let's see what Chwabe, what's up? JJ. Chwabe says, I think the best thing to do is don't talk about past relationships. Take time to enjoy your new relationship. Quite right, honey. Quite right. Ladies, your best friend is who you speak about your past relationships to, who you cry with, who you associate yourself with when it comes to these things. Please, when you meet a man, he's not your best friend. A man is somebody you're trying to build a relationship with, and he don't want to hear about somebody putting him on you, because if he's also an abuser, he's going to see you as an open target to abuse you because you've been there and you've said so. So please, if you must talk about your relationships, don't talk about, oh, this man was a dog, he was a this, he was a that. Just say it didn't work out, it didn't work out, it didn't work out, and we move on. Look for the nice things that this person did to you and tell this man or woman about it, because when you tell people about the nice things people do to you, they try to do it to you or for you. Okay, people? So please don't talk about it at all, and we gotta study people. Masayan says, what are some of the benefits of a long distance relationship? Well, that's a great question. When you're in a long distance relationship and you probably need space as a person, that's a good benefit. And if you're in a long distance relationship where you guys have not met before, some people meet online and they're in different countries, that's a good thing too, because you're not fornicating. So you guys are building your relationship mainly just on talking. And if no one is lying to each other, if you guys are having genuine conversations, that's a great benefit right there, Masaya, because at the end of the day, now that it wasn't because of, the intimacy. It was because you guys communicated on that level of just talking to each other, where that person was more than enough for you. No cheating took place and stuff like that. When you do meet, you know that you're coming to move to the next level. If all things were equal, that means there were no yoko yoko and stuff like that, or pretending. Lady J, both of us had positions in the church during your marriage before eating something. Lady J, both had positions in the church during your marriage before eating something. We didn't have positions in the church or anything. We didn't even have a church, but we just came from a Christian background, and we were, highly in that place of being religious. And so we discussed and we said to ourselves, let's wait and, get married before having sex. So, yeah, how are you? I don't buy the pig in the bag, period. I must know what you have to offer. You're right. I'm never going to do a pig in the bag again. I'm never going to do it. I must know that this person can make me come. I must know that this person has, the kind of size that I like. I must know everything. And let me tell you about size, okay? When it comes to a person's size, it doesn't necessarily have to be big. Not every woman like a man that has, gigantic organ, penis. Some ladies are short, some ladies are tight in their vagina, and that's just a natural thing about them. They're short and they're tight. So a man who has a very big penis is not going to give this person the sexual pleasure that they need. It's going to go in there and fill out that place so much that it's going to be very uncomfortable. So if I didn't know and I married somebody who was like that, or maybe whatever, then I'm stuck into a painful sexual relationship with this person or whatever it is. So you just have to kind of like try this thing out first and see how it is before going into it. Benedict Bestman, Lady J, what really happened between you both? Was it sex or other functions? I don't want to talk about, someone else's private thing, but it had to do with sex, and I felt I deserve more, and I felt I deserved more, and I wanted more, and I wanted to be happy, because when you have a relationship where it's monogamous, you're not going nowhere, the person not going nowhere and stuff like that. Everything has to do with what you guys have in there, and if it's not there, then I'm sorry. Jonathan James, thank you. I think some of you talk show hosts supposed to really focus on discussing and educating we Africans, especially Liberians in general, on sex and relationships. I'm saying this because in our Liberian communities, in the diaspora, in our country, Liberia, these things are not taken into consideration. That's why in most relationships, there's no respect, and our sex lives are more, has become more valuable. You're right. That's what we're doing. And, we're talking about it. We're having these conversations, and I want you guys to continue inviting your friends and stuff like that. We want to have a full house here on Wednesday night, Central time at 10 o'clock, and Central time at 9, and Eastern time at 10, so that we can have these conversations, because I feel these conversations are important. Doc, how are you, dear? Lady J, you're doing great, but my advice to you, you are talking to Liberian. Most you need to smile a little. Too much, not too much laughing. Seriousness matter, because this topic has to do with emotions. No disrespect. Well, Doc, I understand where you're coming from, but this is me. I've been in talk show for over 10 years, radio, and then now, this is just my personality. Don't worry, honey. You get used to me, okay? I have to laugh at some time. I have to be serious sometimes. I know it's a very serious topic, but what this beautiful face can't smile, then it's not going to be good. So you get used to it, okay, baby? All right. Christopher Camara, my dear, see and touch before you bow. That's true. See and touch before you bow. No lies. No lies, no lies, no lies. I love you, my sissy. Love you more, Jabwe. Love you more, Gigi. Yeah, so that's just, bring the questions. Come, we got what? We got about 10 more minutes left. You guys shoot these questions. Jonathan James, which vagina is the best? This has to do with individual differences. We ain't got no vagina that's the best, because some people do not get tight, Pussy. And I tell Pussy that some people didn't like it, but I guess I'm putting like, it's a little looser and stuff like that. And people like it based on the different things that people like. And doesn't necessarily have to be the size. So we don't have no specific vagina. I would say, oh, they want, because some people that have, they have the vagina has lubricant in it, the natural lubricant. So as you're doing it, the person is lubricating and stuff like that. And it has some people who's just very dry. That's not a good thing. But I mean, no, you can't say that, it has to be you and your individual difference, because you might say you like a watery, somebody who has some more lubricant in the walls of the vagina. Another man can come out and say, no, I don't like too much. I like to put my own spit on there. I like for it to be very dry when I'm pumping it. I like to be able to feel the grip in it and stuff like that. So that's it. Make me your co-host next time, Facebook user. I don't know who this Facebook user is, so you have to come back and put your name on there, because either you or me block each other, so I can't see you. And in order for me to make you my co-host, I have to know who you are. So you can put your name there, and it will put the message up there for me, and I will see, and I will decide if I want to co-host or not. It's called Juicy, I know, right? So yeah, I can't come out here and give any specific indication of what kind of vagina is good, because everybody has a different taste. Jonathan James wants to know, does male size really matter during intercourse? No, honey. No, it does not. As I just explained to you, some people have short, tight vagina, and they don't want the big dicks because the big dick would be uncomfortable. So they like the little, normal size dick that can make them come. All a woman really wants in sex is for her to enjoy it and for her to come. And you can have the tiniest organ. If you make that woman come, she's going to stay with you forever, honey. You just need to make her come. That's it. So it's not about the size. It's about the way you do it. So if you learn your skills, you should be good. Sinker, Governor 4. Lower sexual desires can sometimes be related to larger relationship issues. So what happens when you build your relationship on sex? Well, you are right. It's true that you have to know the partner that you're with, and you have to know if their sex drive is high or low. Some people don't like sex a lot, so they will be with a partner who don't like it a lot. They do it once a month. They're married, they do it once a month. They're in a long distance relationship, they do it once a month, and that's okay. But some people want to think every day. Some people even want it 3 times a day. So you have to know who you're with and what the person desires in sex. And these are some of the reasons why you have to discuss your sexual needs when you start talking to someone and you'll see that you're moving into a more serious relationship. Hope I answered your question for you, Stinker. Yep. Christopher, makeup come from where? Lily G. Christopher, have you had sex before, honey? Come on now. If you've had sex before, you know what come means, right? Coming in an intercourse means when a woman expresses what you guys experience as ejaculation, or what you guys experience as coming. This is when a woman reaches her full her height during that time, and the walls of her pussy starts to push out like lubricant, pussy lubricant, and it starts to jack on the penis of the person that she's with, and she feels heightened in a certain kind of way. That's when a woman comes. Hope I was able to answer your question. George Sadie, why do some men like younger women and some women like younger men? Oh, my darling, that's a very great question. We're going to have this as a topic, but I will just give you a little sketch on it. It has to do with something more deeper than just a woman loving a younger man or a man loving a younger woman. Notwithstanding, this is a person's desire. some people just don't want to be with the age group because they have certain experiences with their age group that makes them feel, I would like to be with somebody younger. And if you have what it takes with that younger person has what you're looking for, then it can be a very good relationship. I mean, one relationship that I do admire with an older man and a younger woman is the relationship with our pa Samuel Jackson and his South African belle. They met. He's older than her. They're not on the same age group, but they have a very good relationship. And I feel that a lot of times it becomes acceptable when men have these kind of relationship versus when women have these kind of relationship. And we're going to go into that topic because that's something that needs to be discussed. Doc, if the Jew don't like sex, run for life. True that. Because if you're a man that has a very high desire for sex and the Jew don't like sex, you got to run. Got to find somebody who's compatible to you sexually. If you both have a high size, because the thing about sex is if you have a really high sex drive and the woman has a lower sex drive, then you guys might not be compatible and somebody might go out there and cheat. Facebook user, I don't like to date my age group because I believe that they are not mature and romantic. Well, I don't know if you're a guy or a lady, but I got you. I can quite relate and understand. So definitely, I got you. Yeah, some younger men don't like to date their age group because, as this person stated, I guess this is a guy. They're not, the age group are not romantic, and sometimes it has to do with the intelligence and maturity of the person. If that person is mature, they probably might not like the age group. And if the woman is older than the man, it's probably because maybe she's had some issues with older guys that she don't want to deal with, and she just want to be with somebody younger and make her feel young. So, guys, this 1 hour is almost ended. We're almost at 4 minutes to end. Any more questions, calls? Shoot. Let's talk about it, because next week we're going to be continuing the relationship part, where we're going to be talking about the different kinds of relationships. And I really, really appreciate you guys coming on. I want to shout out to some people that I see on here. Shout out to Couple Mova. Thank you for coming on. Nadia Kujo, thank you for coming on. Joabi Johnson, or Joabi Put, thank you for coming on. Comfort Cheer, thank you, my darling, for being on. I appreciate you. Joy City, I love your questions. Christopher Camara, you made this show a hit tonight with everything that you said. I appreciate your questions. Thank you so much. Cinco, what's up? Thank you for the question as well. Jonathan James, I love the questions. Thank you for interacting with me on the show tonight. And Dawn Modrick, I hope I said that right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your question as well. Baba was watching. Baba Ture from Minnesota. Thank you, Sam. Thank you for the question. I appreciate it. Shout out to Masayan. Thank you so much. Shout out to Jonathan Roberts. I appreciate you being on the show and putting your comments on here. And you guys made the show so. Benedict Bestman, thank you. Shout out to you. Very young powerhouse. I appreciate your comments. Crew Bar Johnson, thank you so much, darling, for being on. I see Kumasa, my girl here. Thank you so much for the love and support, Kumasa. You know I love you. I really, 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 Rosalind Bunchy Bonto, thank you for being on, darling. And Stanley Thompson, Sayon, thank you for watching. Charles Duer-Cuz, what's up, Cuz? Thank you for watching. Emmanuel Jackson, thank you for being a part of the show. Says Fatu Doli, Cooper, thank you. And again, my condolences to you and your family for your loss. You guys, and Moni Bestman, thank you for watching. So you guys, I really, really enjoyed the questions. I know some of the questions were a little try to get me out of my little comfort zone. But when you're talking about sex and relationship, there is no comfort zone. So just to close, I want to say thanks again for being on the conversation, sex and relationship conversation with Lady J. We will be back here going next week on Wednesday between the hours of 9 Central Standard Time and 10 Eastern Time. And we will continue our conversation with the different kinds of relationship. It's going to go in this style. So invite your friends, invite your loved ones. I really, really appreciate you guys. Y'all rock. This was my first time back, and you guys rock. So I'll see you guys later. The next voice you're going to hear is our LIB Dance Hall King, AJ Feelaman, AK Feelaman. Thank you so much for watching, and you guys have a great evening. Signing off. Ta-ta.
We are Labira. Labira is our home. Labira people. Labira.